Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the commencement of the Clarkson School class of 2018. Oh, and by the way, Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Nice coincidence. My name is John Goss, and I'm head of the school. President Tony Collins cannot be with us today, but he will be joining us by video conference very shortly. I will introduce him. But let me say, it's wonderful to have all of you here. I see we actually probably have, I think I'm probably right in saying, certainly in the last few years, this is the biggest crowd. And it's such a beautiful day, so this is going to be a wonderful celebration. It's so great to have all the family, friends, and significant others of our students here today. Thank you for coming to celebrate with us. And last but not least, welcome to the honorees, the class of 2018. It's hard to believe that, I think it's 200 days ago or so, 8 months or so ago, that you were walking across this stage last time. My goodness, how time has flown. Sorry, and how much has changed. Back then, you were taking the unusual step of going to college a year early, and now you've survived that year of college. And more than that, you've grown in so many ways, thrived and flourished as first-year students. And what I'm really proud of is how much you've given back to the community in that year. I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but we're really, really proud of everything that you've accomplished, academically, leadership, service, and the building of a really great community. So that has been a really signal achievement of this class. Anyway, before I get carried away, are we ready to have a video presence of Tony Collins? There he is. Take it away, Tony.
Good afternoon. Tony Collins, President of Clarkson. Welcome to the Clarkson School graduates, their families, their friends, their supporters, people that got them to this point in their lives today. It is an exciting day, and certainly, by the way, we hope that many of you that are graduating from Clarkson School will stay on the Clarkson permanently. I apologize for not being here. Today I'm down in Beacon, New York at a graduate degree completion day down there, a ceremony. So I apologize, but I certainly wanted to just take a moment to express how much Clarkson appreciates our Clarkson School students, faculty and staff. The faculty and staff need to be thanked for getting you to this point today, and for the students, you are a terrific group that energizes our campus. In many ways, you represent different backgrounds, you bring different brain horsepower to Clarkson that we appreciate. Our faculty love to teach you. They are energized by having you in the classroom. So you are an asset that I wanted to recognize in particular today. Congratulations on graduating, and we certainly hope to see all of you, faculty, family, friends, staff around campus, and in particular, the students that will be graduating. We hope to see you in the future. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you, President Collins, and it is true that the university particularly appreciates you, and of course we appreciate the university. This is very much a unique program. There are rather few early college programs like the Clarkson School in the country, so we're very proud to have that as part of our institution. Anyway, this is the 7th year now that we've brought to campus a distinguished alumni to address the class, to give a commencement address. And it's now become a firm part of our tradition. It's really wonderful to have an alum come back and share with you some of the lessons that they've learned from the real world in the time that they've been out beyond the Clarkson School. And this year, we're honored to have Eduardo Rivera, who is he's an alum of the Clarkson School of 1996. That was a long time ago. That was before most of you were born, isn't that right? Or some of you were born anyway. By the way, that was, Eddie was born in 1978. So that makes him 40 years old, which is exactly the same age as the Clarkson School. So by coincidence, it's the 40th anniversary of the Clarkson School this year. Anyway, following this school year, Eddie went to Dartmouth, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts in Music and Psychology. And from there, he went to Florida State Law School, College of Law, where he earned his law degree. From there, he was hired as an attorney at Dempsey, Roberts & Smith, but then he moved to Las Vegas, almost on a whim, as I'm sure you're going to hear shortly. And he was hired by the law firm of Lee and Russell. He's now an attorney at Dempsey, Roberts and Smith, specializing in corporate and business law. By the way, this is not the first time that Eddie has addressed the graduating class of the Clarkson School, because he did so way back in 1996. Eduardo.
Thank you. Very appreciative of that. Thank you, John. I want to thank the Clarkson School staff in its entirety, specifically Brenda, for this wonderful invitation. Annette and Kathleen, if you're out there, thank you so much for helping me get back to beautiful Potsdam. It's a pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you. As I get started, just to give you guys a little bit of a theme, as lawyers, we like to kind of set things up a little bit before we get into the goods. The theme here today for me is going to be the unknown, and not just addressing it, but maybe getting excited about it and seeing it as an adventure, even though it can be very scary. I can remember being in your seats, and I was sad, honestly. I spoke to my classmates as well, but it was very bittersweet. And I think that's part of the message here, is that the bitterness makes the sweet sweeter, and it's not something that needs to be avoided or embarrassed about, because it's a part of life, it's a part of growing. So to get into my story a little bit, I had a kind of a unique upbringing in that I never went to one school for more than 1 year in a row growing up. My mother was a social worker, she was an activist, and as a consequence, she took many jobs that were 1 year in length, or sometimes 1.5 years. And then as soon as the grant is over, as soon as you complete your task, you find another one and you move forward with that. So between kindergarten and 12th grade, coming to Clarkson, I only went to the same school twice, one time, which was 10th and 11th grade. I had an awkward situation in 6th grade as well, where I went from middle school 6th grade, halfway through back down to elementary school 6th grade, because mom's grant got canceled and we had to move and we had to shuffle. That was quite a rough one, as you might imagine, going back to elementary after having locker and lunches and all that fun stuff. But I grew from it, I learned from it, and when I got time to start looking at colleges, like you all, I'm sure you get so much mail, or is it email now? Do they just email you guys a bunch? But you get so many envelopes and all, and I wasn't interested in it, but my mom, bless her heart, she opened every single one and read them all. And of course, brought Clarkson to me. I was immediately interested. I applied, matriculated in '95, and you guys just experienced what this year can be like. It's really something special. Just looking at your faces, I can remember the excitement. I hope you guys are as proud of your achievement as I was then. Once I left here, after being introduced to snow for the first time, as well as, of course, hockey, one of my passions now. Go Vegas Golden Knights, for all of you guys out there. Golden Knights also, nice connection. When I went over to Dartmouth, had a great time as well, just as beautiful and wonderful as here. Was able to continue my education. And one of the first points that I wanted to make about goals is foreign study. And that's one of the things I just wanted to put out there for you guys as an opportunity that you should absolutely take advantage of whenever you can, wherever you can go. As long as you're not going to be on your regular campus, I think you'll be really surprised to find how much it rounds out your education. So one small piece of advice there, of two: study abroad. Just do it. You will benefit from it. I had a chance, I was just speaking with John, I had a chance to go to London. I studied at the Royal College of Music for a semester. And that was a huge learning experience. I'm not a musician, hence the law school decision. A lot of those folks were really talented. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in London. Definitely recommend you guys do that as well. As I finished up at Dartmouth, I still had no idea what I wanted to do professionally. I really enjoyed my psychology courses. I enjoyed music. But it was academic enjoyment. I really didn't see a profession in either area. And that's when I started to get worried. And that's where the unknown first caught up with me. After being pretty experienced with it growing up, this was the first time that I started to get scared. And luckily, I was able to work through it by going to career services. I was able to take all those career tests and all the tests for personality, and still nothing at all. So my career services advisor says, well, you know, Eduardo, if you can't decide what you want to do here, you just got to go to law school. And I said, well, okay, I don't want to be a lawyer, though. Why would I? She says, oh, no, I didn't say be a lawyer. I said go to law school. And she went on to explain that it's a versatile degree. It also allows you a chance to learn about a totally new area of academia. And it would buy me some time. Law school is 3 years. It would buy me some time to be able to figure out what I wanted to do. So I jumped on that opportunity, really kind of a life raft at that point, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started out at Florida State, and very first day, we're in a room much like this one, and the dean stands up and tells us about how important the law is in society, and how important it is to be positive and honest in your work, and how important the people are as well. Oftentimes with the law, it's a machine that grinds and grinds, but you have to remember there are people involved. And then the dean started asking about different areas. Who wants to do family law? And people go up. Who wants to do immigration law? And hands go up. And at the very end, he says, well, who here doesn't want to practice law at all? One hand goes up. Everybody's looking. I actually heard someone say, like, what's this guy doing here? Like, why is he even bothering? But the dean let me off the hook. The dean said that it's not that uncommon to go to law school and not be a lawyer. In fact, a lot of people decide against practicing once they get into the real world of a law firm, because it's just totally different from law school. It's a totally different environment. So I stood out automatically among my classmates as the guy who's going through all this trouble and isn't even going to practice law. But it didn't bother me. I kept going through the courses. I kept enjoying the courses. And is anybody surprised that I still had no idea what I wanted to do at the end? It was a scary time. It was a scary time because, of course, if you go to law school, you have to be a lawyer and that's it. But I wasn't feeling that at the time. I made my way out to Las Vegas. My brother at the time was studying in California. I wanted to be closer to him. So I graduated, made my way out there, and now what? And I was working as a temp in a law firm, right, with a law degree, graduate degree, Clarkson School, temp work, trying to figure it out. And then one of my bosses said, well, you know, Eduardo, if you don't take and pass the bar exam, everyone will always assume it's because you couldn't. And I didn't like that, but he was right. And so I begrudgingly studied for and passed the bar exam in Nevada, and basically started taking lawyer jobs to see if I might be wrong. And I wasn't wrong. The work is just not for me. Nothing against traditional lawyering, it's just not for everyone. But I really didn't like it. And finally, I came across my current firm, Dempsey Robertson Smith. I can still remember, I don't know it verbatim, but I remember the job advertisement basically said, are you a lawyer who likes to help people, but you can't stand other lawyers? And I said, yes, that's exactly me. No offense to my brother, a good lawyer. So I signed up, went to the interview, and immediately, this is 11 years ago, immediately we hit it off. Immediately I knew that I had found a firm that could appreciate my talents without making me do the things that I didn't want to do. So in a lot of ways I got lucky, but I also feel that my attitude and my preparation leading up were really the key to being able to have that success finally come into play. So in summary, that's the message, is the unknown is okay. The unknown, you should really expect it. I've had a lot of successful friends. I can't name one that everything went exactly as they wanted. And even if that did happen, what you want now may not be what you want in 10 years and 20 years also. So things change. The key is to keep progressing. And that's the message today. No matter what you're doing, always be moving forward in some way, because you want to be ready when that opportunity arrives. With that being said, thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the class of 2018. Welcome to the Schoolie Alumni Association. Reach out anytime. There are a lot of us, and we're here to help you. Okay? Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Eduardo. I think you'll all agree that Eduardo's come a long way since his schoolie years, and I'm sure that in the same amount of time that he's had, after you've had that amount of time, you will also come to appreciate the role of serendipity, of luck and chance in determining your future, and just being ready to grab those opportunities when they come along. And it's almost a guarantee that none of you really know what you're going to be doing in 10 years' time. It's just so amazing when graduates come back and I didn't realize that I really wanted to be such and such, or I really didn't realize that I loved chemie when I was at school, but now I hate it. It's the worst thing in the world. So you just never know. Things will change and you have to be ready for those changes. So anyway, another tradition that we've developed in the Clarkson School is that the graduating class, elects a speaker from who exemplifies the best of the Clarkson School values. And this year it's going to be Herb Singe. Herb is from Hackettstown, New Jersey, but he's attended school in Montana and Utah, and he comes most recently from St. Johnsbury Academy in Vermont. In his summer before TCS, he participated in a 50-year Southwest leadership program run by the Outward Bound School, which involved whitewater rafting, kayaking, and backpacking, amongst other outdoor adventures. And he's particularly proud of being elected as the leader of finals by his team. And as you might have guessed, Herb has continued his leadership activities here in the Clarkson School, serving on the Clarkson School Council, and a proud representative of Newell 2. Yay, Newell 2. Yeah, okay. And organizing the first TCS mocktail party. No alcohol, but dress up, mocktails, and hopefully that is the start of a tradition. Herb.
Before I begin, I'd also like to extend the credit for the mocktail party to Dr. Goss. He was the one who did most of the hard labor. So if we could give a round of applause to him. Congratulations, everyone. We've made it to commencement. And thank you, Eduardo, specifically, for also coming back to our community and kindly speaking to us. I'm really happy that he, along with the other alumni, gathered here today for our 40th reunion of the Clarkson School, enjoyed the community that we've built so much that they've decided to come back and relive their memories. Thanks. And I'm sure that looking back on our experience in 40 or however many years from now, when we decide to come back, I know we will follow their example and come back to remember our journey together this year. Our journey can be described in many ways: tough, fun, inspiring. But today, I'd like to reflect on it as a story of community and growth. We are the culmination of toasting marshmallows at Camp Oswegatchie, touring the bright shops in Montreal, skiing and snowboarding down the white slopes of Vermont. We're the embodiment of persevering through college 1 year early, of leading events as fun as the pie eating competition, of engaging with perspectives and ideas that challenge our own views of the world and encouraging them on, too, making us better. Out of this, we built a community and extended it to the entire Clarkson University by starting and joining clubs, giving our all in sports, helping each other with homework, and connecting with admirable professors. While we may come from entirely different states, in some cases nations, with different majors and aspirations, we've bonded together through common experience and desire to know one another. The most common of these common experiences was giving and receiving help in different classes. Not only did our grades go up, but our friendships deepened and we learned more about ourselves. We found friends that, had we stayed in high school, we would have never interacted with. I know from my own experience that these friends will stay with us forever. You can see why they will in the tears in our eyes as we say goodbye today and move forward, as we move forward towards our prosperous futures at Clarkson or at another institution. As we put time into our community gave back to us. For those who helped us, teachers, family members, unsung heroes who I haven't mentioned, we thank you. College is a time where students like myself try to find our independence, where we fit into the world, and we're expected to be full adults and self-reliant. Thank you for being by our side, not because you have to, but because you want to help us. Everyone, I cannot be more honored to speak today on the behalf of my class. And to do full justice to this honor, I want to leave my peers with two honest words for the future: growth and commit. Grow as a person every day. You know how to, and you know you can. I know you can. Commit yourself to a purpose, to your friends, to your loved ones. At the end of the day, it's the people who truly matter. And to everyone, one last thing before I end. Thank you for letting me into your lives and accepting me not only as your speaker, but as your friend. I've treasured every moment, and honestly, from my head to my heart, I hope to spend more time with you in these next coming years, either at Clarkson or wherever our future may take us. See you all soon.
Thank you, Herb, and good luck wherever it is that you're going. I think, Herb, do you know where you're going yet? He's not listening. But I know he's hoping to go to the University of Edinburgh or the University of St. Andrews, and I hope to visit you there sometime too. Okay, at this point I'd like to just introduce the staff to you, and then we'll move on with the proceedings. Associate Head of School, Brenda Kojan. Director of Admissions and Financial Aid, Matt Rutherford. Associate Director of Student Life and Alumni Relations, Kathleen O'Leary. And Office Manager for Clarkson School Admissions, Annette Green. Thank you to the staff. It's they that recruit the students, that arrange financial aid, that run student life, alumni relations. They really are the in loco parentis of the Clarkson School. So we're very, very grateful to the staff and everything that they do. And Brenda will introduce the HAs in a moment. So Brenda, would you like to come up and do your academic achievement speech?
I'm short. Before I begin, I just want to share a real quick story about Eddie. I call him Eddie. Way back then, I was also here in this position. And I have to say that when you said you didn't really know what you wanted to do, I remember distinctly Eddie wearing Dartmouth sweatshirts and hats and being very passionate and dedicated. I'm going to get into Dartmouth, Brenda, I'm going to get it. And he did. So I think you have a lot to say about your persistence and your hard work, and obviously it has continued through your life since being here. So very proud of you. So good afternoon, parents and families, students, staff, and faculty. I will be speaking about achievements, but before I begin, I would like to acknowledge our House Advisor staff for your dedication and care for the students this year. To Chrissy, we thank you for your excellent service in so many capacities, the heart that you gave to the positions that you held while you've been here, and we certainly wish you well as you go on to Northeastern University. And we hope to welcome you back as one of our speakers in the future. And to Brandon, Sarah, and John and Lexi, who couldn't be here today, who will be with us again next year. We are excited and happy you'll be part of our team again. And we look forward to your continued energy and, again, the heart that you bring to the position for next year's class. As always, I like to also recognize the students, and again, all of you have worked hard in so many ways this year, and I think you should also be very proud of yourselves. But I do want to acknowledge students from the fall semester who earned President's List, which is taking 14 or more credit hours and achieving at least a 3.8 or better. So if I could have those that achieved President's List, just please stand to be acknowledged. I would also like to acknowledge those students who earned Dean's List, which is, again, taking 14 or more credit hours with a 3.25 GPA or higher. Please stand. We also have at University Recognition Day that acknowledges students across campus for their service or academic excellence. Several of our alumni, actually, that are still at the university receive awards, so they continue their achievements past the year. But for this year, I'd like to recognize two students who received the Clarkson School Award, and these two students were voted on by their peers to recognize their academic excellence and the ideals for which the school stands. They are Herb Singe and Tyler Richmond. And to acknowledge two students who received the Christine M. Lane Endowed Scholarship, which was started by Christine's parents after she passed away in a car accident. The two students that received this year's award were Regan Damagala and Taylor Lamont. For our HAs, Sarah Leiholt, Commendable Leadership Award. For Serena Matalon, where are you, Serena? There you are. Egon Matejevich Endowed Chemistry Scholarship Award. Chrissy Govertson, the Charles Martin Clark Memorial Prize, and again, for the second year in a row, Commendable Leadership Award. And I think it's also important to acknowledge, a couple of our alumni and also now honors program students that received, one student received the Goldwater Scholar, Scholarship, and which is the most prestigious award in the United States given to undergraduates studying natural science, math, and engineering. David Russell from our last year's class was that recipient, and then also Kiara Cruikshank, if she's in the audience, from Clarkson School, 16, biomolecular science major, received honorable mention. So I thought it was worth to mention their names. So we have several students this year, too, who will be going on into, who are not only accepted as a duly enrolled Clarkson School and honors student, but will be continuing their studies at Clarkson in the honors program as well. So back to achievement. So if you look at the definition of achievement, it's something accomplished either through superior ability, special effort, great courage, or a great or heroic deed. And the example in dictionary.com, because I don't use a book anymore, it says to reach this stage is a great achievement. Isn't this true for all of you in some way or another? You all embarked on this journey, and I know journey was mentioned by Eddie as well as Herb in their speeches. And even with the best of intentions and proper planning, and we talked about the inner GPS at our dinner last Monday, there were delays, there were obstacles, there were bumps in the road, there was sickness, et cetera, that may have gotten in the way of reaching what you thought was going to be your final destination this year. Nonetheless, you are all here celebrating the year. So I'd like to go back to the journey part, how you get from one place to another, and sometimes you're taken in a completely different direction, like Eddie said, than expected. Journeys in life are far more random, far less orderly than they seem at first glance, and today for you is a wonderful day to put the past year of your journey into perspective. It is easy to tell you that the journey you took, or any journey that you take, should engage your heart and your mind in every single decision that you make. You should engage your whole self, and then your journey will reveal itself with the passage of time. So in closing, I have a poem for you. And again, all the students, you know me, you've been in my office, you see all these inspirational things all over the place. And I thought I'd show you this, because you guys probably will understand that if you know me. So in closing, my poem is this. Let me get to it. If you must leave us, then go for a while. Your time at TCS may or may not have been a hard-traveled mile. However, to learn what lessons life has in store, you must be willing to open each door. Don't be afraid to experience something new, for each of those experiences will be of benefit to you. Never live your life dwelling in the past. Please enjoy every day as if it were your last. And you may make mistakes along the way, as we all do, but learn from them. Be proactive, and I know you'll be okay. Begin with the end in mind. You're laughing, you remember these words. And set your goals high. You shouldn't be disappointed as long as you try. Always be kind, always be kind. And respect everyone you meet, for they may be the ones who will make your life more complete. Be sincere and happy in all that you do, and treat others as you wish that they would treat you. Whatever you do, make sure you're content, for the last thing you want to feel is any resent. Never lose hope. There are 1,000 beautiful things waiting for you. Sunshine, yes, sunshine, comes to all who feel the rain or even a little blue. You will leave the Clarkson School now, and then we will part. But remember, amidst the tears, laughter, laughter is the music of the heart. Thank you. And I would be amiss if I didn't mention Brian Wolmer's new invention for the Clarkson School. And I already mentioned this to Matt, so if anyone needs any tissues at the end of the ceremony, Brian has designed the new Clarkson School sealed tissues, so. And Chloe, I'll see you at the hockey games. So at this point, I would like to introduce Mark Melman, one of our students, who is very gifted musically. He will be playing the Prelude from the first Lute Suite by Bach. Thank you.
Here we go. You know, a while ago I actually played for the kids in the Clarkson School at a dinner, and I thought that was my biggest audience, and now I'm playing for everyone and their moms. So I'll try my best.
Okay, we'll now commence with the awarding of the certificates. When your row is called, please rise, make your way over towards Kathleen, and then as your name is called, please come to the stage to receive your certificate. First row, please rise. Emily Nicole Adams. Thomas Adrian Armstrong III. Matthew Baker. Jean Beveridge. Peyton Brewer. Ryan Brown. Cassandra B. Clute. Ian Andrew Dickerson. Regan E. Damalagala. Sarah Dominy. Thompson Edwards. Alexi Lynn Eldridge. Abigail Fernside. Elaine M. Finch. Jada Lynn Flanagan. Lior S. Hadida. Jenny Halukowitz. Second row, please rise. Chloe Michelle Harvey. Charlie Hellenbrook. Julie Healthiller. Micah Hivonen. Bedros Janoyan. Maggie Kent. Taylor Ann Lamont. Jack Lamaralia. Shu Lu. Timothy Francis Lucid V. Amelia McIntyre. Zan Manzer. Serena Faye Matalon. Elizabeth Matisse. Rachel Meacham. Rebecca Meacham. Mark Melman. Third row, please rise. Arlo Jacoby Olson. Tyler Allen Richmond. Alex Robaker. Sarah Elise Rodman. Kane Rodriguez. Tara Siegfried. Birthday boy, Kyle Samil. Herbert William Singe. Nicholas Stallman. Allison Terriella. Andrew Craig Trudeau. Tanner Wallace. Nick Wentworth. Taylor Remy Wicks. Connor Willis. Brian Walmer. Emma Chung.
Before closing, I'd just like to say a few words, and they will be very brief, I promise you, because I know you want to have cake and individually congratulate the graduates. So Brenda's told you something of the impressive academic achievements of the class of 2018, and many of them who are going on to prestigious institutions. They have very, very high level of academic achievement. But I want to just draw your attention to their engagement at the university. If you take a look at this wonderful yearbook, and a shout out to Regan Dumagala for doing the work on the yearbook. Everybody, please. Thank you. You can see just how active they've been on campus and how much they've given to the community. They founded their own clubs, for example, such as the Clarkson Hillel Club. And they perform in the community orchestra, in the pep band, and in theater. They play club and intramural soccer, volleyball, lacrosse, and ping pong. They serve in Clarkson's emergency medical services. They participate in 6 different speed teams. They have joined in various professional societies, and they're in all kinds of recreational clubs, from Outdoor Club to Open Source Institute, from Flying Club to First Robotics. Literally the A to Z, aeronautical engineers to humans versus zombies. I got that one, that's pretty good, huh? So, in other words, they do everything that other first-year students do at Clarkson, only more so. This year's class, just like the class previously, have experienced the widespread misperception of the Clarkson School and its students. And in our exit surveys, a common piece of advice that students give each other is avoid identifying yourself as a schoolie. Right? There is definitely prejudice on campus. Regular first-year students draw attention to your age, as if you're somehow more immature than they are. although the secret is that they're drawing attention to your age as a sign of their own immaturity, I would say. Sometimes it's even well-meaning faculty who draw attention to your status in class, as if you're some kind of prodigy or something, some kind of special exception to the rule that says that there's some kind of progression by age in terms of your ability to pass your classes. There is, in other words, a lockstep social and intellectual, an idea of a lockstep social and intellectual development that, of course, comes out of high school and goes into college. And I want to draw your attention to this publication, A Nation Deceived. It's been around for a little while now, but it's basically the Bible of the early college movement. If any of you have a chance to share this with your friends and families, I think it's well worth doing. It's A Nation Deceived, How High Schools Hold Back America's Brightest Students. It's also known as the Templeton Report on Acceleration. It basically argues for a more widespread acceptance of the early college movement. We are, as the Clarkson School, a part of that movement. We're one of only a handful of programs. How many of you know any other programs? Bard, Mary Baldwin, any others? University of Southern California. Literally, you can almost count them on two hands. There's about 15 of them in the whole country that give a full-on early college experience. It's one of higher education's best-kept secrets. And I want you and your parents and your friends who are here today to share that secret more broadly so that the world knows of what a wonderful opportunity this provides for high school seniors and juniors even, for students who would otherwise be spinning their wheels in study halls or taking the few classes that remain to them or dealing with angst and everything else that goes along with high school social life. Most people, including teachers and high school counselors, don't know of this opportunity. So my first exhortation to you as a class and to everybody else in the room today is promote the idea of early college and tell everybody in the world about the Clarkson School. Certainly your brothers and sisters coming up behind you, but also your friends in high school and anyone else. It's a wonderful, as you know, it's a wonderful opportunity to really grow and to get a step ahead in your careers and in your social lives in the future. Returning back to that idea of age discrimination, of the fact that the word schoolies is somehow pejorative and diminutive of our students. It's one of those things that talking to students, you realize that age prejudice, it's a weird thing because as soon as you graduate and enter in the real world, that goes. There's no such thing as sophomores, freshmen, freshwomen, juniors, seniors. It completely goes poof overnight and nobody cares anymore. And yet right now, it just seems so real to everybody. You're enmeshed in this lockstep, this hierarchy of age, a kind of discrimination. It doesn't go away until you graduate, and then you realize that it's only really when you graduate college that you're graduating high school, because that mentality has continued. And I want you to try, a second exhortation, especially to those of you who are staying at Clarkson, is to try and challenge that notion, to recognize that, or to try and understand the next class coming in of schoolies and try and help them and try and educate the rest of the Clarkson campus about the schoolies. We've tried this in the past. We've had President Tony Collins address students at the first year orientation, but often that's backfired, unfortunately. There's a real challenge to get the word out and let everybody know that schoolies are the same as everybody else, only more so. All right, so don't become supercilious sophomores looking down on the first year students, right? Come to the lounge, mix with them, join with them, lead them, and help them like other stigmatized groups. What we really need to do is we need to reclaim the S word, schoolie, right? We need to reclaim that word and use it as a badge of pride, not as a word of prejudice. So my third exhortation to you as you graduate, you're not really graduating, right? Do we say we're graduating from the Clarkson School? is if you've experienced that sting of prejudice and discrimination based upon your age, because you're a schoolie, think of others who are exceptional in other ways and recognize how they're constantly reminded of their difference. So I hope that wherever you're going, or staying at Clarkson or moving on to another great school, that you will positively embrace diversity and resist the discourses of discrimination, whether they're based upon age, learning abilities, gender identity, sexual orientation, ethnicity, language, nationality, etc. I'm not about to get political on you, but I think it's not an exaggeration to say that we're in a moment of increasing intolerance in our society, and that the values of multiculturalism are under attack. I hope that you will continue the work that you've done in the past year, building community amongst yourselves, building a collaborative and supportive collectivity, and you will take that wherever you go and fight against prejudice and intolerance. I think you've demonstrated that. It's not easy living in close quarters, a year ahead of everybody else, in most cases away from home for the first time, under pretty challenging academic circumstances. You've managed to build a vibrant, tolerant, acceptive, collaborative community, and you should be really, really proud of that. And I hope it will inspire you to continue to do that, again, whether you stay at Clarkson or whether you go elsewhere. So my final exhortation, I think that's 4 now, I think, that really the last one. For those of you who are staying at Clarkson, stop by the office, help yourself to candies and cookies, come by the the Clarkson School and Honors Lounge. Don't be strangers. Those of you who are leaving, it's increasingly easy to keep in touch with Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Anything else? I'm pretty hip, I know all those. I don't actually use them very often, but I know their names. All right, so over the longer term, I think, Herb, 40 years, it scares me to think that far ahead, but certainly maybe the next 10 years, the 50th anniversary of the Clarkson School, we hope that's in 10 years' time. We hope to see all of you, or many of you, come back to celebrate your friendships that you built here in this year. Come back and see us when you can. And remember, there's an adage that we always like to share at this moment. Once a schoolie, always a schoolie. Together, once a schoolie, always a schoolie. All right. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Clarkson School class of 2018.